Hey guys, Chelle here.
And Chris.
Q2 Paranormal. Welcome to another edition of the Q2 Hour. It is April 14th, 2023. We have a few topics for the table tonight. We also have some giveaways for the Crystal Chambers and the Q2 Sweepstakes, so you don't want to miss that. What are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about a little bit about
the old hospital on College Hill.
Yes, the old hospital on College Hill in Williamson, West Virginia. We did this location a while back with Brittany and our guest investigator, Mike, who did an awesome job. We're going through footage right now. Chris is putting together our backstage access video footage, which is on our Roku channel streaming. This is something that we put together ourselves as sort of a behind-the-scenes type thing, because you'll not see Old Hospital on College Hill, unfortunately, on our first season of On the Haunt. It's a training location that we did with JJ and Brittany when we brought them onto the team. We had to do some training so that they knew our protocols and how to properly investigate and how to keep themselves safe and just get their feet wet when it came to investigating with us.
Everybody has to get used to everybody. We all investigate differently.
Mm-hmm. And you can sit and watch investigations all night and all day long. You can watch all the ghost shows that you can think of in your day, but you're never prepared to actually go in the dark and investigate until you actually physically do it. Isn't that right, JJ?
You gotta love lights out.
Yep, lights out, dead time, whatever you want to call it. It's a whole new ball game when you're actually in the middle of it and you're actually investigating. Things happen that startle you. You have to learn what interferes with the equipment. Like, for instance, something that people probably don't even realize that is a big rule when it comes to investigating is no whispering. Like, you probably wouldn't think anything about that.
It's actually a pain in my butt.
It is a pain because for some reason your first instinct is to whisper when you want to talk and you're recording. Like, the first thing you want to do is whisper, and it took a long time for me to break myself of it. What about you?
Yes.
So we had to make sure Brittany and JJ, first of all, knew not to whisper.
It's just your initial reaction.
Yeah. It's your first instinct when you're recording is to whisper.
You're trying to listen, so you're whispering to be quiet so that you can still hear.
Yeah.
When you shouldn't be whispering.
No. And the reason, if you're asking why you shouldn't whisper, the reason is simple. When we're doing evidence review, if you start whispering, then we can't tell if that's a ghost talking or if it's one of us. Honest to God, a lot of times when we have whispered, it sounds like a ghost, and we don't want to label something as a spirit communication when it's one of us whispering. So if we talk normally, it's just easier for us to determine what's going on in evidence review.
A lot of times I'll label something interference just so you know the difference.
Yeah. So, yeah, Old College on Hospital Hill, we spent the most of the night there. The mayor.
Old Hospital on College Hill?
The Old Hospital on College Hill. I always mess it up. I mean, it's even on my shirt. Anyways, the mayor, I can't remember his name, Charlie
Hatfield.
Charlie Hatfield, and those of you who are from this area, this state, you learned about the Hatfield and McCoys probably in school. So Charlie Hatfield, the mayor of Williamson, actually took us through the Old Hospital on College Hill.
He was a great host.
Great host. Very entertaining. He took all the time that we wanted him to really explain the building and walk us through all the hot spots, and he was just so gracious, and we just love him.
He definitely wasn't rushing through or anything like that. He just done his thing, was very open about it all.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun, and we were treated very well. We had a working bathroom, which was great. I had an experience in the bathroom where my smoky quartz bracelet, which I was wearing that night, I was actually on the toilet. I was peeing, and all of a sudden I heard something smack the floor way out in front of me where the sink was.
Yes,
like it didn't fall right beside of me. Like if I had done it, you would think that it would fall right beside of me, but it didn't. It shot out in between the sink and the corner. And I was like, whoa, my first reaction was mouth open. I was like, like seriously, I was in the bathroom like, and I was like, well, my bracelet must have broke, but I don't know how it got thrown clear up there because I wasn't even moving. I was just sitting there.
Sure.
So when I finished up and, got up and I picked it up, it was not broken. Like you can see, it's not broken. And I was like, whoa, how did that happen? Like something literally had to jerk it off my wrist and throw it against the wall because it went way up there.
We had lots of activity that night.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we were taking breaks, stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we had fun there. And our next Backstage Access full episode will be the old hospital on College Hill with Brittany and Mike and JJ, myself, and Chris.
Nope, I skipped it.
No, you did not. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. If you have not seen our full episode of The Infirmary, it is on our YouTube channel. Again, it's Backstage Access. This is stuff that we create for you guys on the side, so don't expect, top-notch production here.
I am not a professional by any means.
But this is the stuff you're not going to see on The Haunt, because most of On The Haunt's already wrapped. We got 2 more episodes to film with JJ and Brittany, so yeah, hopefully we'll have a season 2, but we don't know. I noticed that they're canceling a lot of paranormal programming for some reason.
Nothing is promised, that's for sure.
Nope, nothing is promised, but even if On The Haunt doesn't continue after season 1, we're still going to continue to do this with the whole team, and we're going to continue to make our content, and we'll get better as it goes along, I'm sure. Right? Chris is getting pretty good at it, I have to say.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
I'll build stuff. I'm not usually the one on the computer.
It's too much for me. I don't have the patience for it, so thank God Chris does.
Sometimes.
So yeah, all this backstage stuff will be on our Roku channel streaming. If you haven't added Roku to your devices, I suggest do that. And then you can add Q2 Paranormal to your TVs, your cell phone, your tablets, whatever you want to watch us on. We'll have all the backstage stuff there that you won't see on TV.
You definitely want to see this episode, I promise.
So let's go over what we're going to talk about tonight on Q2 Hour. Earlier on Facebook and Twitter, we uploaded a Q&A graphic asking for your guys' questions that you want us to answer on Q2 Hour tonight. We had a lot of different suggestions, namely crystals and protection crystals, what we wear on investigations to protect ourselves. That will be a topic we're going to have tonight. Also, the different equipment from Freeman. He suggested this, which was really good. He suggested we go over some of our equipment and how it works and how we use it on The Haunt. Haha, I threw in On The Haunt there. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. We're going to talk all paranormal tonight. We're going to give away gifts. We're going to do the top 10 list participation from our Q2 Crystals group. Those of you who are on that top 10 list, you have to be in the chat tonight to claim those gifts. We're also going to do the Q2 sweepstakes. All you have to do is like, follow, comment, follow us on all of our social medias if you want to. You get an entry for the sweepstakes for each of our social medias that you follow us on. You get an entry for every time you comment, like, or share our content.
You won't let me win.
Nope, you're not a winner. You're a winner in your own special way. How's that?
Oh, now I'm special.
So, yeah, guys, we're going to do the Q2 sweepstakes tonight, and we're going to have, I think, 5 winners. 1 from Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So, we're going to have an interesting show tonight, guys, and I hope you enjoy yourself. So, we are happy to have you. Here we go. So, crystals. Those of you who don't know, we do crystals on the side. We're always wearing crystals. I 110% believe in crystals.
They definitely work. We have proved it on our investigations.
Mm-hmm. Every chance we get to test out our crystals, we do so because we don't want to be recommending anything that doesn't work. I will say that I did attend Crystal Academy. I am a certified crystal practitioner. And with the technology improving the way it is now, we can actually measure the healing energy of crystals. We can actually prove that they do work. There is a physics term called entrainment, when the vibration of the energy of a low vibrational object, which would be our bodies, because we are labeled as chaotic, when that is put up against a high vibrational object, which is that of a crystal, when you put those two together, entrainment is when the lower vibration locks on and entrains to the higher vibration.
Raising your own vibration.
Right. So in turn, you are raising your vibration to that of the crystal. Why is the crystal high vibration? Because it's just geometrically perfection. We are not. We are chaotic. Did you know that every organ in your body has its own vibration?
Yes.
Because of that, there's a whole bunch of vibrations going on in our body, and that is why we are labeled as chaotic. Crystals are not that way. They are high vibratory, geometric perfection. So we entrain with that energy whenever we wear them 4 hours or longer. You can put them in your pockets. We usually wear them as jewelry, but we have crystals all over the chambers. They're everywhere. We have mountains. We have, you guys who are in the chambers know, we are not crystal poor. But what we want to do now is we want to go over some of the crystals that we wear on investigations and why. You want me to start out, or would you like to start out?
You start out.
Okay, so I'll start out. Usually, Chris and I, because we are seasoned investigators, we do not wear protection crystals on investigations any longer. However, JJ and Brittany do, because they're not as seasoned as we are in terms of protection and protecting themselves. So they do still wear some limited protection crystals. But the reason why Chris and I do not wear them anymore is because we noticed that when we were on investigations, that we would always get the evidence, but from before.
It always stayed away. It was like it was standing off over on this corner. If you move to that corner, we'll go to a different corner.
Or it would stop altogether.
Yes.
Whenever we would get close, the activity would stop. We would back up. Oh yeah, well we can see the person in the doorway. Great. Our cameras can't see it because we're too far away. Let's get closer. Right? We get closer, it goes away. And normally, before we were into the crystals and stuff, that didn't happen. We could, get up close and personal. We could goose the ghost if we wanted to. It was all good. So we were like, well, why is this happening now to us? This is not normal. This is not the way it normally goes. So I think Chris was like, maybe it's the crystals. Because we were layered in protection crystals.
We were doing a private investigation the night that we found out what was going on.
Yeah, so we were like, well, let's take them off. And I have to admit, I felt naked that night, and I was a little bit nervous about it.
Yes. I'd say just a little bit.
Yeah. But we were all right. But we did realize that after we took them off, that is what was happening. We took them off and we just got our normal evidence as close as we wanted to. It didn't chase off anything. So we were like, okay, the protection crystals really work. And we know they really work because we just tested them.
The evidence took right back off, no matter how close we got once we took them off.
Yeah. So, yeah, we know that they work. So let me go over what I wear personally to an investigation. Now, here recently, I haven't gone completely unprotected.
I have.
I usually wear my smoky quartz bracelet here. I'll show you. Smoky quartz is good for negativity and to keep negativity off of you. It's not something really powerful, or it is powerful, but it's not as powerful as, say, malachite. Now, I used to wear malachite, but I had to take it off because it was messing with our investigations. It was keeping the spirits away from us. So I do wear the one smoky quartz, just so I'm not completely protectionless. I mainly wear third eye crystals when I'm out on an investigation, which entails moonstone, rainbow moonstone, and labradorite. So these are the two third eye stones that I wear. Sometimes I will wear the obsidian necklace. It just depends on, which also has labradorite, which is third eye. It just depends on how gnarly the situation we're walking into is.
The environment.
Right. So go ahead and explain what you wear on investigation and why.
Lapis and malachite on this one.
Here, let me see that. You gotta show. So this is his lapis, and he's also got malachite on it.
And that one is hematite and malachite.
Hematite and malachite. So you do wear malachite on investigations?
I don't wear it on investigation. I take it off, leave it in the vehicle.
And you put it on after we leave?
Yeah.
So to explain, malachite is a highly protective crystal. It is copper composition. It is also a conductor of energy because of that copper composition. So it is heightened protection. It actually puts a physical barrier up around you 6 feet.
Yes.
So it is, and everybody in our crystal chambers loves malachite because it's highly protective. It's got a really wide range of
what it can do.
Like health wise, this is not, I mean, if you have health problems, please see your doctor. This is not anything you should run on 100%. See your doctor first. But I mean, health wise, it helps you as well. It changes your DNA structure. It helps with cancer. Investigation wise, it puts up a barrier of 6 feet around you of protection.
Very good.
But his lapis also is a third eye crystal. It will help him with his psychic abilities while he's on location. And coupled with the malachite, remember I said malachite was a conductor, and it magnifies the energy. That malachite works also to magnify the third eye.
It amplifies it greatly.
Yes, it amplifies the lapis third eye greatly. So he's got a nice little...
I got a circle going on, a little vortex.
Yeah, he has a little vortex. We call it the Chris. I don't even know what we call it, the Chris strategy. But he has it on his left and right wrist. So he's creating like a vortex of protection energy and third eye energy.
Yes.
When he's out on investigation.
Now, I ain't playing around.
Yeah. Those of you who find what we're saying interesting and you want to learn more about the energy and the physics behind crystals, we don't do the what I call woohoo stuff. We're not into the whole, sprinkles fairy dust around your head. We're not really into that. We're really into the science and the physics behind the crystal energy. So if you're interested in what we're talking about and want to learn more, go to our Facebook crystals page at Q2 Crystals. I think it's facebook.com/groups/Q2 Crystals. Join. It's completely free. And we add educational information there every day. And we even have live shows on the weekends when we're doing the live shows. So, yeah, we would love to have you over there if you are interested in what we're talking about.
Everyone is welcome.
Everyone is welcome. Yes, we're a big family there. And I think you'll be surprised of exactly what you will learn when it comes to the crystals and the healing energy.
Yes.
So any other crystals that we might take with us that you can think of?
The other two, I think they take amethyst.
Which is the third eye crystal.
I think JJ takes obsidian.
Which is protection from negative spirits. And I do believe they wear malachite.
Yes.
Everybody in our group wears malachite because it's such a great crystal.
Woo! I turned everyone.
Yeah, you did. Turned everyone into a malachite person in our chambers. So yeah, crystals, we love them. I believe in them 110%. Crystals as well. He has seen that they work, and I really do highly recommend it if you're not into them, because that healing energy can be measured now. It can be proven that they work. There's science behind everything we teach.
Yes.
So let's go over some more questions that we received on our social media. We have questions rolling in on Twitter and Facebook, so we're going to try to go over as many as we can. We may not get to all of them. If we do not get to all of them this evening, we will definitely include them in next week's Q2 Hour. We will not forget to answer them. So let's go here. How do spirits get trapped here?
Multiple ways they can get trapped here.
Would you like to elaborate?
They may not know they died. It could be a sudden death. It could be the way they died that's keeping them here, trying to make whatever happened to them that was wrong right.
They could, unfinished business. They could feel like they have unfinished business. Excuse me. Also, like Chris said, they may not realize they're dead. Coming from someone who has crossed over when I was 9 years old, those of you who do not know, my appendix ruptured and I did pass over on the surgery table, but they were able to bring me back. But one thing I do want to stress is that it happens so fast that you don't always realize what happened. Like, to this day, when I'm sleeping and I wake up, like, sometimes I'll go like this just to make sure I'm still here. Because, when I crossed over, like, there was no hand there anymore. Like, it was like I wasn't there. So, even to this day, I don't know if Chris has ever noticed that I do that.
Yeah,
But
I've seen you do it.
I will wake up sometimes, and if I'm not sure, I'll do this to make sure. I'll be like, okay, I'm still here. So, yeah, a lot of times you don't know that you have crossed over, and a lot of them don't know, and you have to bring it to them kind of delicately.
Yeah. You don't want to do it abruptly. I mean, that's kind of rude.
Well, yeah, and
especially if they don't know they died.
Right, and it's a shock. Like, they are not, a lot of them are human spirits. They have lived a human life, and they have passed on, and they still have. Sometimes they still have those
tendencies.
Yeah,
Same emotions they
emotions like shock. So we kind of put it to them delicately. Do you know that you have passed on? So that's one reason. Also, tragedy. Whenever something tragic happens, like a murder or something, that leaves an energetic imprint on that area, and sometimes it does trap the spirits.
Sometimes it can be residual. It's not always an intelligent.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's not always intelligent. And by residual, we mean like a record player, or a VCR tape.
It's just looping.
Mm-hmm. It's like a replay of the event that has been captured inside the location, and it just plays back and plays back. I mean, a lot of times you'll have a haunting where it is residual, where you're just seeing imprints of that particular time. Like us today, we could leave imprints on our jewelry, like anything that we strongly attach to or have strong emotions over. That could leave an imprint of us.
Your energy is imprinted on everything.
Yes.
Especially if you wear something or you do something constantly and it's a routine.
Yeah, jewelry is a big thing. It definitely absorbs your energy and it stays around until that energy is cleared off. Also, something you'll learn at the crystal chambers. But okay, let's see what the next question is. How do spirits complete unfinished business? That's up to the spirits, really. I mean, we have to communicate with them to find out what their unfinished business is.
It might just be simply that they need to get a message out to someone.
Yeah. And a lot of times I've noticed that most of the time they just want acknowledged. Sometimes they have a story to tell, like, hey, I was accused of this and this is not what happened. Sometimes they have unfinished business like that. But a lot of times they just want acknowledgement that they are there. Maybe they are in the home of a loved one and they want their loved one to know that they are
all
right and they're there. Yeah, so it's totally dependent on the spirit, what they feel like. They don't want to move on until whatever is finished.
Yes.
And a lot of times it's just acknowledgement or, speaking about them. And sometimes, they didn't get a proper burial. Go and pay your respects to them. That works as well. But it really boils down to us needing to communicate with them and finding out what exactly
their need is.
Yeah, what their need is, what their unfinished business is. All right, so next question is, how do spirits move on? Good question.
Depends on the situation. I mean, they're all different.
Yeah. But how do we move them on? I mean, I know how I move them on.
I'll leave that to you.
He's a certified demonologist on our team, so he's not really peaceful spirit, move on type person in our group.
I deal with the negative, nasty, need to be gone.
Yeah, he deals with the forceful aspect of our work. So in terms of what I do, I will call the spirit into us. We normally form a circle. We all think of the white light opening up in our environment, and we assure the spirit it is okay to move on, because a lot of times, especially I found in suicides, they are afraid to move on because they're afraid of judgment. And so a lot of times they will stay behind because they don't want to move on, because they're fearing the judgment that they think is going to happen.
Nobody wants to be judged.
No, and a lot of bad, I'm not going to say bad people, but, people do bad things sometimes. And when they pass on, they do not feel like they will go.
Well, they want to be.
Right. So they do linger on. So usually I will also reassure them that there is no judgment. They do not have to be afraid to move on. And we move them on that way. Now, Chris, you're more forceful, because when he gets involved, it's a gnarly spirit. It's inhuman, or something that is really wreaking havoc on people. So he gets involved in that way.
I deal with the people that it could be a human spirit that's just straight nasty that needs moved on from a location.
Yeah.
Or it could be inhuman, like you said. It just depends on where we're at, what we're dealing with.
And I mean, we don't deal with possessed people. It's not like you see on TV. We leave that to the priests and things, but we will try to take care of locations that are haunted by very gnarly spirits.
Yes.
You can have a haunting at your house, but you can also have an attachment. We can go so far with that until, if you need an exorcism, then we have to refer you to a church. That's just...
Yeah, they have to step in there.
Yeah.
I don't do exorcism.
No, but we have ways to remove the entity from the environment. We have ways to cut the attachments off of the victims. So Chris deals with that. He is certified in that.
I won't go into too much detail.
He doesn't want to go into too much detail. So let's see here. Was that all the questions that we have right now? I think so. So let's move on to the equipment. That sounds fun, don't you think?
Yes.
So let's move on to the fun part, the equipment part. You want to move this out of the way, or do you want to just...
Yeah, you can push it up out of the way.
All right,
I'll still be able to hear us.
We're going to push this up out of our way. Hopefully I don't bring the whole thing down. Get that out of the way.
There you go.
So that we can better bring out the equipment.
I'll let you show this. This is your baby.
Well,
this is what you really like to use.
I do have a few certain things. Somebody asked me that today on Twitter, what my favorite equipment pieces are. And my answer was the good old-fashioned mag flashlight. I ask for it every time. And when we're out investigating, I make sure somebody does an experiment with it, because it just works. Like, all the time. I will turn it on or turn it off and ask them to do, turn it on. Boom, it comes on. It's so simple. Anybody can do it with a mag flashlight. You don't have to have $800 to get the equipment. And it works. And it's a great way to communicate with spirits.
Yes.
So this right here, we have a couple of these. These are called REM pods. And these are EMF, kind of like EMF meters.
They put out an EMF field. Something interrupts.
Oh, okay. So this emits an EMF field. It's not like a meter that measures it. It actually emits it.
Yes,
and
it creates a field around it. It's programmable, and you can do different ranges.
So the thing is, when the spirit breaks that EMF field, then this thing starts lighting up, correct?
Yes.
It also detects differences in temperature.
Yes, 5 degrees one way or the other.
So hopefully we'll get this thing to work here. And we're going to set it down here on the table, which you can't really see. I'll just hold it in my hand. Well, my hand will disturb it.
It's going to stay going off because of the light.
Okay, there we go. See how it works? So he's breaking the EMF field it's emitting, and it's alerting us that that field is being broken. There's also a temperature dial on it. You can keep it on. I thought this was my baby.
It is.
All right, Lindsay, sit there. Okay, so I don't even remember what I was saying now. The temperature. When we went to the Fairfield Infirmary on Command Center, which I was on that night, I had this down the hallway by the 3-foot-tall doll, and the temperature kept alerting. It may have been regular REM pod activity at some points, but I know for a fact that temperature was being manipulated quite a bit.
Sometimes it was both. It would be the EMF field getting interrupted, and then it would stop, and then it would just be a temperature spike or drop.
And again, like the mag flashlight, see, I like equipment that you can communicate with the spirits with, because it's entertaining for you guys to actually see communication going on. Everybody in our team has abilities, so we don't have to communicate with these things. And when we first started, it was actually hard for us to make ourselves use the equipment. Our producer would be like, pull out the equipment, use the equipment. You guys have to, pull out something, because we would go the whole investigation without using equipment because, we didn't need it. But we understand that in order for you guys to get this stuff, for the average person who doesn't have abilities, we do need this stuff. So it's entertaining for you guys. It proves that we are communicating with spirits, and it's a great way to ask them questions and get answers. So that is the REM pod, one of my favorites.
The duck pod.
The duck pod. Next up, we have
another one of your things you like to use.
Another one of my favorites, which is the Melmeter. We'll turn this baby on here. Now, the Melmeter has a story behind it. Gary Golka, not sure where he's from, but tragically his daughter, who her name was was it Melanie? Melissa Golka. She tragically died in a car accident. I think she was 17 years old. And of course, any parent would be just completely shattered over that. Like, how do you, he was searching for a way to communicate with his daughter who passed on because he missed her. I mean, who wouldn't? So that's how the Melmeter came along. There was, an original, like a number 1 version. This is number 2, I think. This is the upgraded version of the Melmeter.
That one has a temperature sensor on top.
I was going to get to that. It's actually gotten a reading of 0.5.
It's because all the electronics are
1.2, 1.6, 2.0, and it's 78 degrees in here. Okay, so the Melmeter. If you watch Ghost Adventures, I don't mean to plug everybody under the sun, but if you watch Ghost Adventures, they did an episode with Gary, and they used this and proved, how this worked. And he still, to this day, communicates with his daughter Mel, especially on her birthday. Now, as Chris mentioned, this has got a temperature gauge on top. Temperature sensor. So it tells us temperature, and is that milligauss or is that EMF?
That's milligauss. That's your EMF.
Okay, so I'm not an equipment person. I barely know how to use this stuff because, Chris is more of the technology guy. But this is one of my favorites. It will measure the temperature and the milligauss, right?
Yes.
So we had this at the infirmary as well. So that is the Melmeter. Turn that back off.
Smell meter.
And next, we have
something else you like to use.
He's bringing out this beautiful piece of equipment here. Is called, I forget, what is it called?
Parabolic mic.
Parabolic mic. I use this at the old hospital on College Hill. Actually, I picked up growls with it. There was was there a couple times where,
some knocks.
yes, some knocks that you could confirm that I was using this and I was picking up stuff with this thing?
Yes, there's footage of it.
So basically, you put on earbuds. I can't remember what I was wearing.
It's not earbuds. It's a headphone. It's wired that goes into this.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there. You have to dial into the frequency. I think you pull the trigger. I can't remember. But whatever direction you're shooting this in, you get like magnified hearing. Kind of like those spy things we had back in the day where you could point at your neighbor's house and listen to their conversations. Same concept here. So when we were at the old hospital at College Hill, is that right? Okay. Old hospital at College Hill. I actually broke this out and used it. I caught growls, knocks, interference, I believe.
Interference was detected multiple ways at the same time.
So this is directional, so whichever direction you point it in, that's the magnified sound you're going to hear in your ears. So, and I think it also has the trigger for recording, if you want to record.
No, you have to use the trigger, pull the trigger to listen, and you hit record on the side.
Okay, and there's also a little eyepiece here, which I never used, and I'm actually not sure what it's for. But yeah, this is...
So you can tell exactly where you're looking at the area.
Oh, so you know which direction the sound's coming from.
Yes, it's directional.
So don't point this at Toots McGee. Right?
Not Toots McGee, you will hear the trumpets.
Yeah. You will really hear the trumpets. You point this Toots McGee. So yeah, this is the parabolic mic.
The shoehorn.
Next we have
another EMF detector. This is one that I carry. It's very simple. It just tells you your milligauss, picks up spikes. This light will change from green to yellow or red, depending on the levels and the readings. Anything over 20, it will turn red for sure. It becomes dangerous.
And each member of our team carries one of these.
It also reads ambient temperature.
Awesome. Is there any way we can get it to go off sitting here to show people, like if I put my cell phone by it or something?
Maybe.
There it is, 2.7,
Oh.
0.3. So if a spirit is around, this thing will pick it up and it will give you a reading. Now, in terms of EMF, I do want to mention on our house investigations, we will do what's called a base reading, and we will go through the entire house with this to see what the base EMF is in the house. Because electronics and like things like what are those things called? What are the power boxes called? The breaker boxes.
The breaker box.
It's called a breaker box? Okay. So like, for instance, the breaker box could throw off a really high EMF, or any kind of electricity in the house could be having some kind of issue, and it throws off a really high EMF.
Improper grounding, anything.
So why is that important? Because high EMF will give you hallucinations.
Make you
nauseous. It will give you the experience of having a haunting, but it's not actually a haunting. It's the EMF being high in your home. So when we take the base reading, if it's at like 1.0, or most of the time it's 0, throughout the whole home, then we know, 1, there's no EMF issue that's causing hallucinations, and 2, when we get spikes in the investigation, we will know it's actually spirit communication. So, all right, so that was the EMF meter. Do we have anything else?
Nope.
No? You don't listen to what Chris says, right? What we got now? Ooh, we got some interesting evidence from the infirmary on this one.
This is a thermal camera.
Go ahead and turn it on.
Nope, there it is. Hold on. Nope, battery's low.
Oh, battery's low. But you guys, if you watched the full episode of the infirmary, you got to see the evidence that we picked up in the basement with this. Go ahead and explain to them what that does.
It picks up hot and cold spots.
And it's called
infrared imaging. Here's a thermal camera.
Which picks up infrared.
Infrared heat, coldness. Anything cold will show up as blue, different shades of blue going down. If it's really hot, it'll be yellow, red, orange. It just depends on how hot it is.
Mm-hmm. So, in terms of that, the reason we use things like this is to pick up the different spectrums on the light.
So we can't see with our naked eye.
The electromagnetic light spectrum, I believe it's called, right?
The visible
light
spectrum.
Well, visible is what humans can see, but I'm talking about the whole spectrum. Yeah. I think it's called the electromagnetic light spectrum or something like that. But the visible light spectrum is what only humans can see. There's a whole spectrum of light that, unless you have psychic ability, you can't pick up on. So that, in particular, is a good way to see things that the human eye cannot normally see. Right? So, something today I wanted to go over real quick. Somebody asked me also on Twitter today something about, I saw something really ridiculous, and I'm not going to say who said it, but I saw a really ridiculous statement on Twitter today about how spirits that are low level have to use transportation like we do. They have to use cars, trains, and planes to get around. It is just totally ridiculous. That is totally not true. But I'm not going to say who said it. But anyways, we got into the subject of how the spirit world exists within our realm. And it's basically like, imagine another reality that's imposed on top, like a layer that's down on our layer of reality. Like this, it's all one layer, but depending on what part of the light spectrum you can pick up on, that's what you can see. They are all here with us right now, but unless you're psychic, you cannot see that layer that's imposed over our reality. It's all one great big reality, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'll leave it alone.
Okay, he's going to leave it alone. All right, let's go on to the next piece of equipment.
This is night vision cameras we set up throughout the entire location.
Mm-hmm.
This is how JJ runs Command Center. He can see what is going on behind our backs or in rooms that we're not in, so we can move to those rooms and communicate and try to get activity.
Yeah. So these cameras are night vision.
They're infrared.
They are infrared, so they see the infrared light.
They just see infrared only.
Oh, they don't do color?
They do color, but I'm saying when we use them, it's infrared. They don't pick up any other spectrum, just the infrared.
Okay, so a lot of times at the command center, you guys know that we use the walkies. The person at the command center is in charge of watching every room we set up, and we usually set up 7 rooms at least. Sometimes it's not that much, depending on how much electric we have and how much.
The location.
Yeah, sometimes the location is so small we don't need to use all 7. But Crescent was 20 buildings, and it was so windy, it was crazy.
Crescent, you needed a cable company.
Yeah. We ended up not being able to use them because the buildings were so far apart, and we didn't have enough electric for them to reach each different building.
It was tragic because Crescent was off the chain.
Yeah, Crescent was off the chain, but we weren't able to set up our night vision cameras, unfortunately, because we were running off a generator and not actual electric in the building, so it wasn't enough electric to give our cameras what they needed to perform. No. So unfortunately, we did salvage that night with the live, so it wasn't all for nothing. We still had an incredible time, and it was really fun. That's on Facebook as well, or live from Crescent. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Chapel is really something. And the tunnels.
Footage there was hard to get. Cell service was spotty. If you want the tunnels, it will go away.
How about you want to talk about the 70-mile-an-hour winds?
What, 70 mile an hour? Just 35.
No, it's more like 50. I'm telling you, I walked outside and almost fell over from the wind. It almost blew me over.
Well, you are small and fun size.
Well, it was more than 30-mile-an-hour winds. JJ, Brittany, what do you have to say about the winds at Crescent?
They were like 10 miles an hour tops.
It felt like 80 mile an hour, but it was at least 45.
When you go in the blue room, you just sit there and it was like...
Yeah, we had a blue room to use, and I almost fell over in the blue room because of the wind. I went forward, and the wind caught it, and whew, thank God. That would have been a jackass moment for sure. Oh, my God, I'd never live that down if that happened. I was like, whew, thank goodness. Next, we have...
SB11 Spirit Box.
All right, this is one that you wanted. So I'll let you talk about it.
You can hear voices come through. It sweeps backwards, forwards, 2-channel, 1-channel, AM, FM. Plus, this one has the temperature sensor.
Go ahead. I'm just showing them.
And it's just another way I can hear the spirits talking. But this is a way you guys can hear what they're saying as well as what I pick up. Or anyone on the team. So
does it have batteries in it?
Yes, it will pick them.
Right. Is there a light on top?
Yeah. Well, I'm good at that. You can hear how fast it sweeps. You can change the rate. It just depends on what you want, how it's coming through.
So basically what it does is it sweeps radio stations quickly.
Yes.
Radio frequency. And the spirits will be able to come through and utilize that and communicate through that. So that was one of Chris's pieces that he wanted to get. And now, is that the last one?
Yes.
All right, so we saved the best for last. I'm going to let Chris talk about this because I know he doesn't want to reveal all the information about it. This is the EM pump that Chris created.
I call it the Q2 Calm Booster.
The Calm Booster. Now, I will tell you that he made this with crystals inside. It would not be possible for this to work without...
I won't say what all I'll put in it, but it creates its own EMF to help with your energy. But it has earth magnets, crystals, a motor.
Wow.
I mean, it just...
So basically what this does is it pumps what is it pump? EMF into the room, which will give the spirits the energy needed to communicate. And I know from experience, I'm sure Brittany and JJ can back me up on this when we were at the old hospital on College Hill, when we were running this on the second floor. I mean, at times, he started running it, and really, the longer it runs, the more the energy in the room heightens. And
you can feel it.
Yeah. I'm sure JJ and Brittany can attest to the fact that we ran this so long, it felt like every spirit in the building was in the same room as us. I had like this visualization while we were doing this, and it is on YouTube. It's under the EM pump session that we all did. If you guys want to check it out. But I had a visualization while we were doing this of like 13 ghosts. Kind of like how at the end all the ghosts were like circling and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt on the second floor of the hospital when this was running. Like the longer it ran, at the end, towards the end, it felt like every single spirit in the hospital was in that room with us. We were hearing from the nurse. We were hearing from some kids. We were hearing from Mose. We were hearing from the inhuman Ed, the inhuman spirit that was on the second floor that Chris had the pleasure of dealing with.
Ed wasn't inhuman. Ed's who you talked to on the fourth floor.
I know. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying the inhuman spirit.
The inhuman one, I just... Nah.
So there was so yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about this. There is an inhuman spirit that Chris got to play with on the second floor. He didn't like him too much. But tell them about some of the evidence you caught with that inhuman spirit. Some of it is on YouTube already, but not very much of it.
I got REM pod action with it. I got smacked in the back by a door.
And we didn't catch the door slamming with the camera, but we did catch the actual sound of it smacking Kristen in the back.
Yeah, and as soon as it hit me, you can see me kind of stumble forward, and I'm like, who done that?
Yeah, and you can hear it go crack, like it sounded like somebody smacked him with a 2x4 in the back. But yeah, and our door popped open shortly after that, I believe, at Command Center.
I had a cabinet pop open in my face.
He had this running in the hallway, and like I said, the more it ran, the more crazy things got. I think he got confirmation with the REM pod that it was inhuman.
Oh yeah, as soon as I said, "Are you inhuman?" Just like that, it
answered. Yeah, so really nice. I really love this piece of equipment. And whenever we go somewhere, I'm like, where is it? It's going in the room that...
I don't recommend for people with heart issues.
No. But you made it, so there aren't any more comm boosters out there that I know of.
Not like this one.
And so...
a lot of people make EM pumps, but mine's different.
Yours has crystals inside, for one.
There's things under pressure and...
So a certain crystal under pressure will cause... I think it's called the piezoelectric effect.
Yes.
Yes. So there's a hint for those of you who are in our chambers and know what I'm talking about. The piezoelectric effect. If you want a little hint into what's in that.
I'll tell everybody, be very careful with this. Do not drop it.
Yeah. Yeah, you broke one of my crystals. I can't remember.
I didn't break it.
It fell out and broke.
Yeah,
so technically he didn't break it, but it fell out on his watch. Okay, so those are our favorite pieces of equipment. Again, we have the walkies. We have all kinds of equipment. We have a laser grid.
We like catching camera footage with just still photos, everything. We
have motion tracking cameras. When we have children involved, we'll take a teddy bear or a balloon. At the infirmary, we took a teddy bear for Susie, the child spirit, and we left it for her.
We have laser grids, everything.
Laser grids. We have walkies for the communication. And sometimes the spirits will interfere with our walkies, like at the Heyman house.
Yes.
There is footage. I'm not sure if we uploaded it or not, but we will be making, a Heyman house backstage as well. But there was a point in time when a woman came through my walkie, and it was not my voice. And anybody that knows me knows it was not my voice. She came in the walkie. You even hear the crack of the walkie come on. And what did she say? Hello? Or hey, or something like that?
It only comes to your walkie, the voice. Like, it went off on all the radios, but her voice was only in yours.
Yeah. Yeah, she said hey or hello or something. And I was like, whoa, that's not me. And it was definitely a female voice. No doubt about it.
We had radio interference a couple of times that night. It was crazy.
Yeah. So that's our equipment. Like I said, we have a lot more, but those are probably our favorite pieces.
We use laser grids, everything.
JJ, Brittany, what are your favorite pieces? Tell everybody what your favorite equipment has been that you've gotten to use so far. So now that we have went on and answered questions, we've talked about our equipment, we have come to the portion of Q2 hour where we're going to give away prizes. We're going to get out of the way first our sweepstakes winners, and that is those of you who follow us over on our social media channels, who you like our comments, you share them, you comment, all that good stuff. This is the Q2 sweeps, and we're going to go through those winners really quickly. We always pull those names randomly before the show, so we don't have to do it.
Thanks for sweeping.
Thanks for sweeping. From YouTube, we have Morbid2277. Thank you very much. Twitter, Arnold White. TikTok, Teresa Blake.
Uh-oh.
We know who that is. Facebook, Michaela Polly. and Instagram, Wonderland Coloring. So, YouTube, Morbid2277, Twitter, Arnold White, TikTok, Teresa Blake, Facebook, Michaela Polly, and Instagram, Wonderland Coloring.
Congratulations to everyone.
Yes, congratulations. You do not have to be in the show tonight to claim those prizes. Now, next we're doing the top 10 list. You do have to be in here to claim these prizes. If you are not in here with the little live symbol at the top, then you unfortunately missed your prize opportunity tonight.
Yes.
So the top 10 list, those of you who are new, we pull this from our 22 Crystal Chambers group on Facebook. It is for participating in our group, liking things, commenting, and submitting group posts. We have a top 10 list that is printed out. It is generated by Facebook. We have nothing to do with it. The results are as follows. The number 1 spot is Devette Stout. Congratulations. And thank you for being our number 1 contributor at the 22 Crystal Chambers. Second, Amanda Bernancio. Third, Kathy Vasquez. Fourth, Elaine Atnip. Fifth, Tracy Main. Sixth, Gretchen Swanson. Seventh, Michaela Polly. Eighth, Beverly Plogger. Ninth, Beverly Lewis. And 10th, Laura Sneed Del Mastro. Thank you all for being top contributors. And now we're going to decide what you're getting for free.
Laura gets a possessed doll.
Laura does not get a possessed doll. She would kick you in the rump for that. You know, we're eventually going up there, and you're eventually going to have to stand in Miss Laura's presence.
That's all right. I'm going to take a doll with me.
After all this doll stuff that you got going on with Laura. Okay, so when you hear your name in the prize, please throw up claim in the chat box so that we can get your prize in your merch box, okay? Now, whenever we do our next mailings, which will be, normally we're doing Fridays, but this time around, it'll probably be around Wednesday. When we do our next round of mailings, then you'll receive all your prizes that are in your box. Normally we do it weekly because we have the crystal shows, but we haven't had the crystal shows in a while. So, maybe we'll have a wall drop sale this weekend. Who knows? Chris doesn't like to do the crystal sales.
I have to do a lot of editing right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of editing to do. So, okay, here we go. Devette, our number 1 spot is always a special gift that we choose for you that we know that you will like, and you are going to get a custom piece of jewelry. It is going to be a surprise, but it is going to be something that we know that you like. So thank you again for being our number 1 contributor.
Congratulations.
Number 2, Amanda Renancio. You are going to get a rainbow moonstone tumbled. You want to say the names and I'll just spit out a prize?
Yes. Kathy Vasquez.
A lapis lazuli tumbled.
Elaine Atnip.
You are going to get a, let's see. Let's give her a peach moonstone tumbled. I know everybody so well in the chambers. We really are like a family. I try to make sure I give you guys something that I know that you'll benefit from.
Next is Tracy Main.
Tracy Main. She is one of our newer members. Let's give her a lapis lazuli tumbled.
Next will be Gretchen.
Gretchen, our tarot card reader, and she does such a great job. Let's see. She's got a lot of our stuff. She's a hard one.
You can give her a Kimball Jasper tumble.
I'm going to give you a phantom quartz, Gretchen.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Next is Michaela Polly.
Michaela Polly, we're going to give you a tuxedo agate.
Congratulations.
Tumbled.
Next is Miss Bev Plogger.
Bev Plogger, we are going to give you another tiger's eye tumbled.
Bev Lewis.
We are going to give you the healing hematite tumbled.
And last, Laura with the haunted doll.
Laura, we're going to give you a labradorite tumbled minus the haunted doll.
Plus 2 haunted dolls.
No. She's really going to kick your butt when we get up there.
And a third one when we get there.
We are going to do that Conjuring House. So, Laura,
be ready.
Be ready, because
you get to hold the doll.
We are coming up in your area, and we are doing the Conjuring house. So
she gets to hold the doll. She can rock it.
All right, guys. So we have come to the end of our show. I'm pretty sure we went over an hour, but we appreciate that you came. We appreciate you for following us on all of our social medias. Again, like, comment, share, and you just get more entries to our sweepstakes. We are going to play the red filter pick challenge. We're going to be choosing that winner for a cameo on an upcoming episode of On the Hunt. So, if you haven't seen that yet,
keep those picks coming.
Keep the picks coming. We're going to be choosing the winner very soon. Go to our YouTube channel. It's up there. It is called the Red Filter Pick Challenge. Watch the video, find out how to enter, and because we're going to be pulling that winner very soon. We got some of the things we got coming up. We've got Sweet Springs coming up.
We have one that's going to be private. We may release footage. I don't know yet.
Well, we're going to on Backstage. If we're allowed.
I'm talking about the other location if they give back
the library. I'm going to tell them about it. So we have a location that Chris and I are going to do. We're just going to call it the library. But we will have an episode from that if the property owner allows us to put it on our Roku channel. It will be on Backstage. If not, then we won't. But we will try to get that on Backstage. So we got Sweet Springs. We got the library coming up. We have the haunted mansion in Clarksburg that we have to finish. And then we're definitely going to do that Conjuring house. We're not sure when that's going to happen.
Laura can rock out with her doll out.
Rock out with the doll out, yeah. We need to get her a shirt that says rock out with her doll out. All right, guys. So again, we thank you for coming. We love each and every one of you. Please feel free to share us. And again, the old hospital on College Hill is our next full episode on Backstage Pass.
I am working on it now.
If you need instructions on how to get us on your Roku channel, that's also on our YouTube channel. Hopefully, I'm not sure if the search feed thing is fixed yet, but hopefully that's fixed and you can just search Teach You Paranormal on Roku. But if not, there are instructions on our YouTube for that. All right, guys. So we are Chelle, Chris, Brittany, and JJ. We are signing off for the night. We love you, and we will see you next Friday right here on the Q2 Hour.
Keep rocking out with your doll out.
Keep rocking out with your doll out. All right, guys. See you next week. We love you.
Guys.